was in the church just kind of like Sarah. I was in the church for 4 years. I had my littlest one, which is 8 now. I had her dedicated there. And like Sarah was feeling, I felt like a stranger. I've been there 4 years. I was on my same row, on my same seat for 4 years straight. And had a lady one Sunday morning came up to me. She was 2 pews behind me. I seen her every Sunday morning. She came up to me and she said, well, you know, she introduced herself to me, and I was like, okay, I've been here all this time. You know, she thinks I'm a visitor. I've been in this place, you know, and I just felt like, okay, I wasn't, you know, a big tither in church, and I wasn't part of a committee or anything, and it was a fairly large church, and so a lot of people didn't know me, but I felt like they should have. So, because of that incident, I just left church. I left church for 2 years. I was there 4 years. I left for 2 years, and one Sunday my mom called, and because every Sunday she would call and say, are you going to church? I was like, no, I'm not going to church. I got plenty of other stuff to do. So one Sunday she decided to, well, it was Saturday afternoon what it was. She called me and said, well, are you going to church Sunday? And I was like, no, I'm not going to church Sunday. I told you, and I went through the whole speech. They didn't know me, and blah, 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 you know. And she's like, that's no excuse, Cynthia. And I was raised in a Christian home, knew church since I was little, grew up in it. I knew church. And I think that's what hurt me, because I grew up in church, and I was like, I seen a lot of hypocrites, and I seen a lot of backbiting, and I was like, this cannot be church. This is not how it's supposed to be. So anyway, I was looking through the yellow pages, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go to church. I need to find a church. So I was looking through it, and I was like, I don't know what kind of church. I mean, and Baytown has a list. So I was going through the yellow pages, and I'm like, oh, no, I don't like that. Because I'm going through details, like, okay, let me see when they open, when they close, when they stop, you know, because I was like Sarah on this time, think, oh, it's about time for church to be in, okay, you know. And I seen an advertisement, I can't remember details, it's been a while, but it said something about full gospel, you know, it just seemed like the church I grew up in. I was like, oh, okay. And so when I called the number on there, and it was Pastor Mike's cell phone, I was like, oh, I got the pastor, you know. And he said, well, we're meeting at Santana. It's the funeral home. And I was like, okay. And so I told him, well, I got a church I'm going to Sunday. It's at a funeral home. Are you happy? So anyway, I went to church, and I felt so at home when the first song started, and I can't remember the name of it. But the first song, and I was like, wow, back to when I was a kid in church. And it was just so peaceful and friendly, you know. And I was like, oh, I like, and it was a small church. It was smaller than it was in here. And, I mean, but people greeted me, and they didn't make me feel like I wasn't part of it, you know. And so, and I had told my name, or I think we stood up or whatever and said my name. And so the next day I was at Walmart, and I'm going through Walmart with my, you know, without the kids. I thought I had the kids. Walking to Walmart, and I seen Pastor Mike's son. I don't know if y'all have ever met him. He kind of looks like Pastor Mike, but he had this red grizzly beard, you know, and he's short and stocky. And so he was walking. He was coming up the aisle, and he was walking with 2 guys, and I was walking. And I was like, oh, that's the pastor's son, you know. And I was so used to churches that, you know, we see people and we don't speak outside of church. Well, he told his friends, I seen him signaling to his friends, I'll be right back. And he was walking towards me. I'm like, oh my goodness, here comes, you know, he's coming to me, and he was like, hey, Cynthia. And he gave me the biggest hug in the middle of Walmart. I'm like, hi, you know. And I was like, wow, to be like that in the public. He had just met me Sunday, and this was Monday, and he remembered my name. He didn't care who was around, and he just gave me the biggest hug. And I was like, I'm going back. I'm going back to this church. What kind of love is that, you know, doesn't matter about what people think or say about you, or, you know, he was just down to earth. And that's what got me to start coming and bringing my kids, and we enjoyed it. And what keeps me here is the love. And that's honestly the reason why I'm here, is because it's love in here. You don't ever feel like you're an outcast. You don't ever feel like, you don't belong. It's always somebody to greet you, somebody to speak to you. If you're having a rough day, it's always there people to pray for you and just give you encouragement. And, if you don't have a church home, I'm telling you, this would be the one. You'll never feel like an outcast here.